Hello everyone, I am BHARATHI Raja, Assistant Professor, Department of Visual Communication. So today we are going to discuss about IP address. So what is IP address? An IP address is a unique address that identifies a device on the internet or a local area network. IP stands for Internet Protocol, which is the set of rules governing the format of data sent via the internet or local area network. IP addresses, an identifier for a computer or a device on a TCP/IP, that is a transmission control protocol and internet protocol. The networks using the TCP/IP protocol route messages based on the IP addresses of the destination. The format of the IP address is 32-bit numeric address, written as a 4-number separated by periods. Each number can be 0 to 255. For example, 1.160.10.240 could be an IP address. An IP address is an Internet Protocol address. Essentially, it is a numeric value assigned to a network device, and it is used for identification and location of the network device. IP addresses are assigned to every type of network device. It could be an IP camera or laptop IP or desktop IP device, an IP phone, a cell phone on a wireless network, computer servers or websites. Even children's toys that are internet connected will have an IP address assigned to them. IPs are broken up into IP address 4 and IP address 6. So they are divided into two types. IP address 4 is made up of 32-bit address, and IP address 6 is a new standard version, and it is made up of 128-bit addresses. The IP address 6 came out because all possible IP address 4 addresses are close to being assigned. So IP address 6 is the new standard. Here the IP address may conflict. How it is conflicts? A subnet cannot have a duplicate IP address. This means that if your laptop has an IP address of 10.1.10.1, no other devices on your network can have the IP address, as it causes an IP conflict. If two devices have the same IP address, the network will confuse the devices, and to resolve the conflict, one will be kicked off the network. So the IP conflict will occur. IP address classes. How IP addresses are classified? So IP addresses are classified into 5 types: class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. The first octet value of the subnet mask determines the type of IP address. If the first octet value is between the range 0 to 127, it is classified as a class A type IP address. If the first octet value be between the range 128 to 191, it is classified as class B type of IP address. If the first octet value between the range 192 to 223, it is classified into class C type. If the first octet value is between the range 224 to 239, it is classified as class D IP address. If the IP address range between 240 to 255, that is the first octet value. If it is in between the range, then it is classified as class E type of IP address. So class A type of IP address supports 16 million hosts on each of 127 networks. Class B type of IP address supports 65,000 hosts on each of 16,000 networks. Class C type of IP address supports 254 hosts on each of 2 million networks. IP address version 4 and IP address version 6. IP address version 4 is a 32-bit address is used. IP address version 6, 128-bit address was used. The major difference between IP address 4 and IP address 6 are: in IP address 4, encryption and authentication is not provided. In IP address version 6, encryption and authentication is provided. In IP address 4, header of IP address version 4 is 20 to 60 bytes. The header of IP address version 6 is fixed at 40 bytes. In IP address 4, checksum field is available. In IP address 6, checksum field is not available. In IP address version 4, packet flow identification is not available. In IP address version 6, packet flow identification is available. IP address version 4, addresses are usually represented in dot decimal notation consisting of 4 decimal numbers, each ranging from 0 to 255 separated by dots. In IP address version 6, addresses are represented as 8 groups of 4 decimal digits, each group representing 16 bits. Sender and forwarding routes performs fragmentation in IP address version 4. Fragmentation is performed only by the sender in IP address version 6. In IP address version 4, security features release on application. In IP address version 6, there is an inbuilt security features named IPSEC. In IP address version 4, end-to-end connection integrity cannot be achieved. In IP address version 6, end-to-end connection integrity can be done. IP address version 4 supports DHCP and manual address configuration. IP address version 6 supports auto address configuration. IP address version 4 addresses are 32-bit long. IP address version 6 addresses are 128 bits long. Loopback address. The loopback address is the routing of electronic signals or digital data streams back to their source without intentional processing or modification. It is primarily a means of testing the communication infrastructure. So, any traffic that a computer program sends on the loopback network is addressed to the same computer. The most commonly used IP address on the loopback network is 127.0.0.1 for IPv4 and 1 for IPv6. The standard domain name for the address is localhost. The IP address 127.0.0.1 is called a loopback address. Packets sent to this address never reach the network but are looped through the network interface card only. This can be used for diagnostic purposes to verify that the internal path through the TCP/IP protocol is working. Automatic private IP addressing mode. If the IP address ranges between 169.254.1.0 to 169.254.255.255 with the net mask of 255.255.0.0. If the IP address is in between the range, it is said to be automatic private IP address. Automatic IP addressing (APIPA) is a feature of Windows-based OSs included since Windows 98 and Windows ME that enables a dynamic host configuration protocol client to automatically assign an IP address to itself when there is no DHCP server available to perform that function. Network and broadcast addressing. You cannot assign a network number to a computer or any other host on the computer. For example, in a computer network, so we will be assigning IP address to each individual system on the network. But in the network broadcasting address, it is not possible. You cannot assign the highest number on the network to the host. The highest address in a subnet is the broadcast address. Determine the broadcast address for your IP address. The lowest address of the subnet, your IP address, falls in the network address. The Ethernet broadcast address is distinguished by having all of its bits set to 1. A broadcast address is a network address used to transmit to all devices connected to the multiple access communication network. A message sent to a broadcast address may be received by all network attached to the host. Uniform resource locator. A particular web page can be uniquely identified by this URL. For example, in the following given example, www.ndsu.nodak.edu. So, in this website, HTTP is the communication protocol, ndsu.nodak.edu is the web server hosting the page, ndsu lat timer, the path to the page of the host server, the index.html, the file name of the page, hash events, the anchor in the page. Suppose if you want to access the index.html page, that is uniquely if you want to identify a particular page on the web server. So, if you type the above address and the address bar, so you can directly reach to the particular part in the web page. This is called the uniform resource locator. That means you can uniquely identify a particular web page on the website. IP, Internet Protocol, and domain name is the name of the website. So, in the given below and the examples, IP 132.129.67.85, it's an IP address. The human being cannot remember all the digits at the same time. For example, so if you have given like bdu.ac.in, so we can easily remember this website name. A host or website on the internet is identified by a host name such as www.example.com. Host names are sometimes called domain names. Host names are mapped to the IP address, but a host name and an IP address do not have one-to-one relationship. A host name is used when a web client makes an HTTP request to the host. ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. That means for each domain, a separate IP is assigned. So, who governs the ICANN? It's an international corporation and also non-profit organization. So, they give IP address to each domain. Only register accredited by ICANN can register domain names that will be included in the ICANN DNS, the most frequently used DNS on the web. Each register pays a yearly accreditation fee of rupees 4,000 US dollar to ICANN. It is a private sector non-profit organization, so they are responsible for IP address space allocation. ICANN diverse board consists of 19 directors, 9 at large directors who serve 1-year terms and will be succeeded by at large directors elected by an at large membership organization. Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. The global coordination of the DNS, route, IP addressing and other Internet protocol resources is performed as the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority IANA function. So, new top level domains names TLDs. ICANN is accepting application fees and annual maintenance fees for maintaining the top level domains. The top level domain TLD refers to the last segment of your domain name or the part that follows immediately after the dot symbol. For example, the internet addressing https www.google.com. The .com portion is the TLD, that is top level domain. TLDs are mainly classified into two categories, generic TLDs and country specific TLDs. So there are 5 top level domains are available. So they are generic top level domains GTLD, sponsored top level domains STLD, country code top level domains CCTLD, infrastructure top level domains ARPA, that is simply said as ARPA, test top level domains TDLD. In this session, we have seen IP address 4 version, IP address 6 version, and the difference between IP address 4 and IP address 6. We have also seen loopback address, public address, private IP address. We have studied ICANN, then what is URL, Uniform Resource Locator, then domain name. Thank you.